Does Paul Finebaum owe you an apology? Does he? Does he? I would like to know. Normally, I don't look at other folks in my business and come at them for their opinions. It's an opinion. And even the opinion that you got is an opinion. But when you step out the way that Paul Finebaum stepped out, and the results are the results, you got to believe that the audience can't wait to see your show. Shout out to Finebaum, who's going to have some really great ratings when he does his show during the week, because my man stepped out on First Take and said with a straight face, he said, Texas is going to blow out Ohio State. I don't even think it's going to be close. Okay, that's one miss. Then he apparently made some bet about Florida State and Bama, picking Bama, and Florida State won. So that's two misses. Normally, if you make that kind of an egregious, I say egregious, that kind of absurd, comically wrong take, people tune in on your next show to see what you're going to say. And if you're smart about it, and he is, you will make people watch the entire show before you address that. And then you might address it for 30 seconds on the way out, right? That's what normally happens. In my neck of the woods, right, we have a local sports talk host who was claiming forever that Tiger wouldn't win a 19th major. Well, turns out Tiger won a 19th major, and that was one of the most listened to broadcasts here locally for a very long time. I expect when we look at how Texas lost to Ohio State and we look at how Bama lost to Florida State, we feel that the loss to Florida State from Bama is way more upsetting for the fan base than the Texas won Ohio State, okay? Texas came in as the number one, ain't one place to go if you lose that game. They're playing the AP number 3, the coach's number 2, my number 2. They took a 7-point loss. They didn't look good offensively, but neither did Ohio State. Both those teams look credible defensively. Ohio State bowed up on goal line situations and held Texas to 1 of 5 on 4th down. Arch Manning looked shook because, quite frankly, it's his first start against real competition, let alone the defending national champs. It happens. Julian Sayin just didn't make the mistakes that Arch Manning did. He played winning football, which is the take there. Ohio State played winning football in a game that felt like it could be the national championship and still could be the national championship game. That's how good both of those teams are and how good those defenses looked. But Bama? Good Lord. Bama fans are about to come unglued about this Kalen DeBoer experience. And you remember, that's Finebaum's backyard there. He came up as a columnist, Tuscaloosa News. He did the radio show in Birmingham for WJOX, where it is the station for Tide football. And his rise coincides with Nick Saban at 2007, doing Nick Saban stuff all the way up until he retires last year. Kalen DeBoer is not a dude that impressed Finebaum. I know this because I've listened to him speak about this, right? So now we have a Bama team that came in as a number 8 team in the country, playing an unranked Florida State. A Florida State's coming off a 2-10 season, a Florida State that got overhauled and restructured. Overhauled offensively, defensively, fired the offensive coordinator, fired the defensive coordinator, jettisoned the quarterback, brought in a new quarterback. Restructured Mike Norvell's contract, where the only thing that feels cool about it is that he got a $55 million buyout if things go bad. Then Tommy Castellanos gets up in front of everybody and says, I can't wait to play Bama. Nick Saban ain't here to save them no more. To which I was like, oh, word? We're doing this to Bama? And I made the same mistake many people did too, that Tommy Castellanos went out here and corrected for all of us so that we don't need to make this mistake anymore. This is not Nick Saban's Bama. This is the Bama that Bama fans remember when Oklahoma was running things. This is Ashula's Bama. This is the dude you fire after Gene Stallings' Bama. This ain't that Bama. And I realize that I'm speaking to a generation that is younger than me when I tell y'all there was a time, and I remember it well, when we didn't care nothing about no Alabama. We were scared of Alabama like people are scared of Nebraska now, which is to say you're not. You're like, hey, it'd be cool if they were okay. It'd be cool if they were good. Nobody's scared of Nebraska. And that's what happened to Bama now. With Tom Osborne, with going out, people like, yeah, is Tom Osborne leaving? No. They went through Frank Solich and they went through Bo Pelini before they got to garbage. Bo Pelini had it going the way they should have been going. And then they decided to get him up out of there, and they go into, hello, darkness, my old friend. That's where they go, right? And that's where they had been. Matt Rule trying to bring them up out the mud now and earn it through the Big Ten, which is still wild to say. I contend that Nebraska became this Nebraska when they changed from their origin to the new money. They moved from North Tulsa to South Tulsa and thought they were somebody different. No. We know who you are, and them folks from South Tulsa are going to treat you like where you from. The best thing you could have done was just take that money that you was going to use to go buy that house in South Tulsa and buy that house in Gilcrease Hills. But no, you need to be living over there next to Holland Hall. You need to be living over there next to Bixby. You got to go to the one town, one high school communities. TPS ain't good enough for you. And now you're getting treated like that. Okay? That's what happens. I think Bama, though, man, it's worse for them because they didn't change nothing. The furniture around them changed, but they're the structure. They're the thing that the SEC is built on. Its mystique is built on Bama, right? Like, Auburn was good, RJ. Florida won 2 national championships. LSU been in there. Georgia got good. Georgia always been good. They just got great because it's sleeping giant forever. I get it. I understand. I get what you're saying here. But I look at this Bama thing, and I think it's a DeBoer thing. So it used to be, we thought of Bama as a dynasty. It used to be, you saw the tide, and you were appropriately afraid because you understood what Nick Saban on that sideline meant. And it wasn't so much Nick Saban. It's all the dudes Nick Saban brought in. We made rules to stop Nick Saban doing Nick Saban stuff, right? The oversigning rules, the headset rules. He's the guy that got up in front of everybody and said, do y'all really want us to be playing football without being able to get a defense subbed on the field? Is that what y'all want? When people were whooping his ass with that, with Johnny Manziel and Hugh Freeze. And what did he do? He went and got him one of them offensive coordinators, got him one of them quarterbacks, and started whooping everybody's ass with that. That's the kind of dude that he was. He was going to find a way to win. He was going to claw, fight, whatever it had. I'll never forget thinking to myself, oh, this man does not care how he wins the football game. Because when he got started at Bama, the Heisman winner is a tailback, Mark Ingram, okay? By the time he left Bama, the Heisman winner is a wide receiver. And you got to remember, Nick Saban does not like to throw the football. He wants to play defense and run the ball so he controls every aspect of it. But when you have a man that says, you know what, give me Blake Sims, give me Jalen Hurts, give me Tua Tagovailoa, let me get the 4 best wide receivers on one football team this side of Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Thad Moss, God, dog, and Justin Jefferson, and let me put them on one squad. Remember with Calvin Ridley, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy? Hell, that's 5. They all went there because he decided he needed to win. That ain't Kalen DeBoer's bag. Now, it's over. It's over. You know what? Maybe it was over last year because they got over to a 4-0 start where we're thinking, okay, same old. Number 1 team in the country. They take down Georgia. And then they got embarrassed by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. Okay. You're number 1 team in the country. You go on the road. You lose to Vanderbilt. You don't make the SEC championship. You lose to a bad Oklahoma. And you've lost back-to-back games for the first time since 2013. Remember, they lost that game to Michigan in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Now they lost this game to Florida State, which means they've lost 2 games to unranked opponents. That was a feat. Remember? People didn't do that to Bama. Unranked opponents? No. Bama doesn't lose to dudes with no numbers. Now, that's just what it is. If you got a Power 4 team, they're capable of beating Bama. Kentucky thinks they can get them. A&M knows they can get them. Auburn can't wait to play them. Vanderbilt going, we 1-0 against y'all in the Kalen DeBoer era. I wouldn't be able to live under them circumstances. Some things would have to change. I sent this post on X last night, and I wonder how true it might have been because I was thinking Kalen DeBoer might be coming home to 4 sale signs at his yard. They petty like that in Tuscaloosa. Hell, they petty like that in Oklahoma. It's the South. Anywhere that is culturally the South is going to be that kind of petty. It ain't just what you've seen for Gary Gaines and Billy Bob Thornton on Friday Night Lights. People be doing that. They showing up to your house because you're playing with their family. You're playing with their birthright. You're playing with the only thing in the world that they give a damn about. Remember, They got a dude that was so Bama that he went down to Auburn, poisoned trees, and did time for it. That ain't the place where you want to be losing football games. It's not. And you coming out here to say to people after you lost the way you lost to Florida State, I still think we got a good football team, ain't what people want to hear. That ain't what they want to hear. It might be true, but ain't what people want to hear. What they want to hear is, it's my fault. I did it. Come after me. Slings and arrows over here. Tie your hands behind your back. Let people get their licks in, because that's the only way that this is going to get a little bit better in the interim, because you still got an SEC schedule you got to play. And Florida State, as good as they are, will be a top 25 team for me. That ain't no SEC schedule over there. That's Tommy Castellanos with some get back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That ain't Megatron over there. You know what I'm saying? That's little man who be in that TikTok talking about I can't even say it. Sorry. Had this room been blacker, I'd let y'all know what he said. But you just have to go look it up. Got to look it up, because kids be watching this, and I got to take care of our Caucasian brothers and sisters as well. But that child had me falling out because daddy was trying to get him to say Megatron, and that boy just wouldn't say it. That's who Florida State is. They that little boy over there. What you about to have to go play is the black man that came up on DBZ in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be me and Daquan Wilshire on your schedule. That's what you up against. That's the rest of your schedule, dog. You don't want it with us. Well, we know every bit of Kakarot's BS story. We know that we vibe with Vegeta. Even as we get older, we the dude wearing the pink. We trying to find our Bulma. That's where the SEC is. They grown. They got kids. They got old man strength. You got beat down by the little man that can't say Megatron. I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that. Now, the program, again, I mentioned this, had been 119-1 before the Kalen DeBoer experience. Now, the Kalen DeBoer experience, 119-1 against the unranked opponents. They're 6-4 against unranked opponents. Nick Saban was something like 131-2 against teams where Alabama was favored by 14 or more. They were favored by 14 or more against Florida State. Now they're 4-4 in the Kalen DeBoer era. I need Paul Finebaum to answer for all of this. That's it. I'm sure you do too, because I want to be entertained. The man gets to have his takes. He does. He has worked very hard to get the show. He does a great job with the show. He hung it out on this one. He sent it. He sent it, left it out there, and he ended up like Ferrari at the Dutch Grand Prix.